Hello guys, welcome back to STEM Trainers. Today we are going to see mechanics part of A levels and this is for year 1 kinematics. So first thing that we are going to see is what are velocity time graphs, and then in the next video we will see what are displacement time graphs. So velocity time graphs are more important because most of the questions that come in exams are of velocity time graphs. But we need to have a thorough understanding of velocity time graph and displacement time graphs. So without further ado, let's start velocity time graphs. So here are some of the examples of velocity time graphs. In first case, you can see my velocity is constant. So graph is a horizontal line parallel to the t-axis. And you can see in velocity time graphs, velocity will always be on the y-axis and time will always be on the x-axis. Now, obviously, you can interchange the axes, that is velocity on x and time on y, but that doesn't give you much information. So that's why mostly you will see in all the graphs velocity is on the y and time is on the x. Okay, so first graph you can see velocity is constant. So we can say velocity is constant. Okay, in the second graph you can see as time is increasing, my velocity is increasing. So this is nothing but my velocity is increasing. And now what's happening in this as time is decreasing? Now at time t equal to 0, you have some velocity, let's say v naught. And you can see as time increases, the velocity is going down. That is, velocity is decreasing. So in this graph, what's happening is velocity is decreasing. Okay, in the last graph you can see as time increases, my velocity is increasing. Okay, so that's the basic information that we can just see from the graph. Okay, now the next thing, what does velocity time graph tells us? First thing is that we will note here is gradient of velocity time graph represents acceleration. So in the first graph, you can see my velocity is constant and the gradient of this line, this is a line, straight line parallel to t-axis, or you can say x-axis. So my gradient is 0. So in first case, my acceleration is 0. Velocity is constant. Second case we have done that velocity is increasing and you can see the gradient of this line is positive. So we can say, or you can say gradient is positive also and gradient is constant because it's a line. So for the whole line, my gradient is constant. So I can say my acceleration is positive and acceleration is a constant value. Okay, so positive acceleration and a constant value. So in C part, what we can say is my velocity is decreasing. The gradient of this line is, as you can see, the gradient of this line is negative. So gradient negative means acceleration will be negative, but it will be constant because this is a straight line. So for straight line, there will be only one gradient. So that's the information that we can get from the third graph. Now for the fourth graph, as we can see, time is increasing, my velocity is increasing. Now gradient will tell us the acceleration, right? So if you take, let's say, point here and draw tangent, gradient means tangent, right? So gradient of tangents, and if you draw one tangent here, so you can see my gradient at point B is greater than the gradient at point A. So I can say my acceleration of the particle at point B is greater than acceleration of the particle at point A. So it means you can say my acceleration is increasing. So what is happening in D graph is my acceleration is increasing. And in all the points, my acceleration is positive also. And it's not a constant in this case. as it was in A, B, and C case. Mostly in questions, you will not find this D part. This D part generally comes in 1 marker questions, if it comes. So mostly in question, you will see either A graph, B graph, or C graph. So next thing, area under velocity time graph gives you distance covered or distance traveled. So that is also very important. So these 2 points are the most important points for velocity time graph. First is gradient gives acceleration. Second is area. If you find the area under velocity time graph, that gives you the total distance traveled. And sometimes this area under velocity time graph gives displacement also. That we will talk about when we will see some questions. That what's the difference? So in all the cases, area gives you distance, but in some cases, it can also gives you the displacement. So we will see that in question when we will try some questions on this. Okay, I hope you understand these 2 points and these basic things. Okay, so let's try some questions on this. So first question is, figure shows velocity time graph of a cyclist over a 7-second period on a straight road. Okay, so cyclist is moving on a straight road for 7 seconds and this is the velocity time graph given. Okay, so from time t equal to 0 to 3 seconds, it is moving. The velocity time graph you can see is a straight line with some gradient, and from 3 to 7 it's a straight line but with gradient 0. That means velocity is constant, we know this. And in from 0 to 3 seconds we can see that velocity is increasing and then it is keeping constant. Okay, so that's a graph. Now state what can be concluded or deducted about the motion of cyclist from t equal to 0 to 3. Okay, so we can say from t equal to 0 to 3, my acceleration is constant. That's the main thing, right? Because it's a straight line. So I can say my acceleration is constant and I can find that acceleration also. So what is acceleration? In velocity time graph, acceleration is nothing but the gradient of the velocity time graph. So what is my gradient here? So this point is nothing but 0, 2. I can find this point also. What is this point? This point is nothing but 3, 5. So what is my gradient? As everyone knows, gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So which will come out to be 1. Now units are given meter per second. So this will be meter per second square. So you can say from time t equal to 0 to 3, my acceleration is constant and it's equal to 1 meter per second square. Because acceleration is positive, so we can say my velocity is increasing. Okay, next part, from 3 to 7. So 3 to 7 is very straightforward. 3 to 7, my velocity is constant. And you can see a couple of things you can say. My velocity is constant at 5 meter per second. That's the first thing that we can say from 3 to 7. Second thing is the gradient of this line from 3 to 7, the gradient is 0 because this line is parallel to x-axis. So my gradient is 0. It means my acceleration is 0. So I can say further my acceleration will be 0. Okay, next question. Find the distance traveled by the cyclist during the 7-second period. Okay, so we need to find the distance traveled from 0 to 7 seconds. So basically what we will find is area under this total graph. So first is, let's find this area. First area is a trapezium, right? This is a trapezium from 0 to 3 seconds. So what's the area of trapezium? You can say area or total distance. Okay, so first is trapezium. What's trapezium area? Half sum of parallel sides. So sum of total heights. First height is, this height is 2, as you can see here. This height is 5, right? So half 2 plus 5 into the distance between these height. What's the distance between them? 3. This is 3 into 3. So that is the area of this trapezium. That is from 0 to 3, it has covered this much distance. Plus, now let's find area from 3 to 7. Now this is 4, the height is 5. So area of this rectangle is 5 times 4. So this is my total distance covered from 0 to 7 seconds. So let's try to find this. This is 3 into 3.5 plus 20. So this will be coming out to be 10.5, that is 30.5 meters. So this is the total distance covered in 7 seconds. Total distance covered in 7 seconds. So that is my answer. I hope you understand this. So basically only two things are there. I have written as a note also. Gradient gives acceleration, area gives distance. That's it. Rest is straight line things, and finding area is basically what you have done in lower classes, grade 9 and 10. Okay, let's try one more question. Okay, now this is a good question. So let's see this question first. So figure shows velocity time graph of a toy car in a straight line motion. Okay, so car is going in a straight line. The car starts at point A at t equal to 0. Okay, so let me just write here A. It means basically this is point A. Okay. So car starts from point A at t equal to 0 and reaches point B after 8 seconds. Okay, so at 8 seconds, car reaches point B. Then t seconds after leaving A. Okay, so t seconds after leaving A, the car reaches point C. So basically at time t equal to capital T, the car is at point C. Okay, and the distance between B and C is given as 10 meters. Okay, so find the distance between A and B. Okay, so basically what's happening is, as you can see in the graph, first my velocity is increasing and then my velocity decreases and comes to 0 at 8 seconds, right? Where we already know this is point B, right? And this is sort of point C. Okay. Okay, let's try to understand this. So from A to B, what is my total distance traveled? That is easy, that we know that total distance traveled from A to B is the area under the curve of velocity time. So let's find this area that will give us the distance between A and B. So what's this area? This is a triangle. So area of triangle is half. That is base. Base is 8, right? 0 to 8 seconds. So this is 8 into height. What's the height of this? 10. That's a maximum point, right? This is 10. Okay, so this is coming out to be 40 meters. Very good. So it means distance between AB is 40 meters. Second thing, what are they asking is find value of capital T. Okay, capital T. So what they have given? They have given distance between B and C, right? Distance between B and C is 10. So basically it means the area, this area that is in the negative, you can see this area is given as 10. That's how it will become the 10 meter distance, right? So this area is 10. So let's find this. So area of this triangle. So for that, I will need base and height. Now height I can see is the lowest point is -5. So the height is 5. So that is clear. So what is my base now? Base is this length. So this length I will use some other color. This is 8. This is T. So obviously the distance between 8 and T is T minus 8. So this length is T minus 8. As simple as that, right? So this into T minus 8 will be given is equal to 10. That is what is given. The distance between point B and C is 10. So let's solve this. So this is nothing but 5t minus 40. I am multiplying by 2. So this will be 20. So t is coming out to be 60 by 5. 60 by 5. That is 12 seconds. So my capital T is 12 seconds. Okay, C part. Find the displacement from A to C. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said that sometimes the area gives you displacement also, but in all the cases, 100% of the cases, it gives you distance. But sometimes you can find area under the velocity time curve to find displacement also. So I will tell you how. Now see this. The first area, that is the triangle that is on above the x-axis, this area was 40 meters, right? We found the distance between AB is 40. It means this area is 40 and this area that is below the x-axis is 10 meters. So there are two questions. First question they can ask is, what is the total distance traveled from A point to C point? Or they can ask, what's the total distance traveled from time t equal to 0 to time t equal to capital T, which we already know it's 12 seconds. So that's the question. What's the total distance traveled? So we will say 40 plus 10, that is the area 50 meters. So that's the total distance traveled. So let me just write it. So total, they are not asking in this question, but we are just observing this. Total distance traveled will be 40 meter plus 10 meter. That is area of both the triangles. But in this question, they are asking, what's the displacement from A to C? Now you can see this. This area is 40, that is in the positive side. This area is in 10 meter, that is in the negative side. Okay. So what will be my displacement is, in displacement you have to take the exact sign. So if the graph is below the x-axis, then you can take that displacement to be negative. Find the area, then take the negative sign. So what happens is, displacement from A to C will be actually from A to B plus from B to C. From A to B, my displacement and distance are same, that is 40 meters. But from B to C, my displacement will be minus 10 meters. So my final displacement will be 30 meters. This is very important. I hope you guys understand this. This is the only thing that might be little confusing for some of the students. So if you are finding the total distance, just add everything. Find all the areas and add. If you are trying to find displacement, then take the signs as well. So if the graph is above the x-axis, take positive sign. If the graph is below the x-axis, take the negative sign. So that will give you the displacement also. I hope everyone understands. If you have any doubt, any confusion, you can write it in the comments and I will try to answer this as soon as possible. And if you like these videos, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching STEM Trainers.